Hi everyone, today we're going to be using the Pilates ball to do a little bit of mobility training and deep stretching with our Pilates practice. So when you're ready, you're going to come down to your mat and we're going to start lying down on our back. And from here, you can just lift your hips and place your ball right underneath your tailbone. And once you have the ball there, you can relax the arms down by your sides. And we're just going to take a couple breaths to center us here before we start our practice. So inhaling in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And we'll take 2 more deep breaths like that, in through the nose and then out through the mouth. One more deep breath in and then out through your mouth. And then we're going to go into some pelvic rocks or pelvic tilts. So make sure you have that ball right in place. And we're going to take a breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to tilt the pelvis, drawing the belly button in, pressing the low spine down towards the floor. And then as we inhale, we'll come back to a neutral position. So we're going to do maybe 2 or 3 of those with the ball here underneath the tailbone, and then we'll adjust the ball and do without. So take a breath in. And then coming back up to neutral, we're going to do 1 more. Exhale, tilt your pelvis. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. And we'll take that ball out. We're going to place it in between our thighs to start. And we'll do the same thing, pelvic tilt, tilting the pelvis and pressing the low spine into the mat. You can see how my spine curves forward and back. My pelvis tilts forward and back. We're going to do 1 more. And then we'll come back to a neutral position. We're going to relax the arms here down by our sides. And then we're just going to take the knees into the chest. As you draw the knees in, you can circle them around to massage the low back. You can take them all the way down and around, but keeping our spine kind of relaxed onto the mat. And just rotating through the hips and through the low spine. Then we're going to reverse those circles, take it out and around in the opposite direction. And we're going to come back to the center. I'm just going to take a little twist of my spine over to the right, turning my head to the left. And then I'll come back to the center and I'm going to do the same in the other direction. 1 more to each side. Last one over here to the left in that twist. Perfect. And then we're going to take the ball out from behind, from in between the thighs, and we're going to place it right behind our upper back. And from here, you should be able to relax over the ball and feel a stretch in your upper spine. Once you're here, we're going to have the feet planted down on the floor. So that ball is right at the middle spine, the thoracic spine. And from here, we're just going to start with some chest lifts. So we're going to exhale, lift the chest up into your chest lift, and then inhale, curving down. So this is the flexion of that thoracic spine, as well as your cervical spine flexing up. On the next one, we're going to curl up and hold it here. Once you're here, I want you to lift your heels off of the floor, and we're going to lift the right toes and then the left. So we're just marching here, right and left. Keep curling up through that upper spine, right over the ribs. If you need to, you can bring your hands down onto the floor for a little more stability if behind the head was a little too challenging, or you can hover them off the floor. We're going to be here for 4, 3, 2, Last one, relax the feet down. You can relax the head and chest over your ball. We're just going to stretch the legs out. You can take the arms long and really feel that stretch through the shoulder blades and the upper spine. And then we'll just take the hands behind the head. And from here, we're going to do some of those single leg extensions, but keeping our feet opposite foot down on the floor. So we're going to bring that right knee in, stretch it back out, curl the head and chest down, and then the left. And now the right. And left. And again, if you need to, when you curl up, you can keep the feet down on the floor and you can just stay here for those long leg extensions. If you need a little assistance here for this movement, we're going to be here for one more on each side. Last one on this left side. And then you can go ahead and relax down over your ball. If you want to go into that long stretch here, you can. Give yourself that good stretch. All right, and then let's come back up to center. We're going to take it opposite arm to opposite leg, but we're going to start on this right leg first and this left arm. So we're going to reach back, long stretch, and then take it up to the center. Exhale, reach. Exhale, reach. This is your crisscross. We're going to do 3 more. Last 2. Last one. Perfect. Relax it down. Give yourself that long stretch before we take it over to the other side, reaching our right fingertips now to our left leg. So we'll curl up through center, take it up and over. Perfect. We've got 4 more. 4 more. And 3. Last 2. Last 1. Perfect. Go ahead and relax it all the way down. We're going to bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together, and just let our legs fall apart into that butterfly. And we're going to go into some arm circles here. So we're going to take the arms, reach them up and back, sweep it out to a T, curl the head, neck, and chest up if you'd like through the center, take it out and back. So you can add that chest lift, or you can just allow the spine to hang over. Also, if you need to squeeze into the shoulder blades a little bit deeper, you can take your arm circles into just some nice protraction and retraction of the shoulder blades. Your choice here, but we're going to reverse. So now we're going to take it down, out, and around. So you can add the chest lift here if you want. Your choice, how you want to do this practice today. Last one. And then we'll take a breath here, breathing in. We're going to come up to seated. All the way up to seated, grab our ball, and we're just going to scooch back a little bit so we can have a little more length on our mat. And now from here, we're going to go into a little bit of mobility of the middle and upper spine, a little bit of flexion work of the spine. So let's go ahead and grab our ball, and we're just going to start with some roll downs. I'm going to flex my feet, but you can point your feet if you need a little bit more release in the low spine. We're going to take the ball up overhead. Exhale, we're going to reach it forward and then roll the ball up the thighs to come back up to center. Reach the ball up overhead. Glide the ball up the thighs, back to center. So we're flexing the spine forward. Perfect. Just reaching up and flex. Last one. And then let's come back to the center. We're going to take that ball, you can bring it to chest height, and then elbows are going to go out wide. We're just going to take a lateral bend, drawing our right elbow down to our right hip, and then come back to center. If you want to increase The work here on the obliques, you can take the ball up overhead. So lengthening a little bit. Think about stretching the spine up, growing a little bit taller, and then reaching up and over through your middle and upper spine. You can bring that ball up to overhead, or you can just take it down to chest height. We'll take it over to the left. We'll do one more to each side. Last one. Perfect. We're going to come back to the center. So we've done our forward flexion, our lateral bend, and now we're just going to do a little bit of rotation. So you can bring that ball to your chest, or you can take it overhead. Sitting up nice and tall, we're just going to exhale, twist to the right, and then twist it over to the left. Again, center, we twist to the right, and then over to the left. If you're reaching overhead, you would just be rotating through the spine, lengthening your spine. We're going to do one more to each side. Last one. Perfect. Finish up with a nice forward fold to release the hip flexors a bit. And then restack the spine, come up through center. We're going to go into our cat-cow. So we're going to take the ball, and you can just place it in front of you for a moment so you don't need it right away. And we're just going to go into our cat-cow, bringing our palms down onto the floor, knees beneath your hips, nice wide stance here. And we're just going to round the spine and curve the spine. So just a couple like that, releasing the spine. Taking in deep breaths. Last one. Then we're going to sit back on our heels, take that ball away, and we're going to go into a child's pose, rolling the ball and really stretching into the shoulders. From here, I'm going to pull that ball in, and I'm just going to take my left arm, place it over top, and I'm going to roll the ball away, stretching into my left shoulder, and then pull it back in. My forearm is resting at the top of the ball, and I just roll it away and pull it back in. 2 more. Exhale as you press out for your last one. We're going to come to the center. We're going to switch. We're going to take it over to the other side. So you just place the top of your right arm on, and you exhale as you reach it over for that stretch. Perfect. We're going to be here for 2 more. Last one. And we'll come back to center. You can go right through the middle just to even it out a little bit. And then let's come up to the center here, where we're going to do some side facing work. So we're going to start off with a little stretch of the hamstrings and the hip. You can keep your ball on the floor. We're going to use it in just a moment. So we're going to come into the hip here, and then just stretching into your right hip. You can press it forward and back. And then we're going to extend into that right hip a little deeper, coming back to center. If you want, you can sit back on your heel, come up to center, and then over to the right. Sitting back into your heel, up to center, over to your right. We're going to do one more. Back into your heel, up to center, over to your right, and then we'll come back to the center here. We're going to take that ball, place it right at your left hip. Your right arm's going to be extended, and we're just going to roll the ball down, reach your right arm up and over. Perfect. Roll the ball down, reach it up and over. 2 more. Nice. Last one. And then we'll come back to the center where we're going to do our mermaid variation, but now seated. So we'll cross this right leg in front, take the ball, place it right here under your right hand, reach your left arm out to a T, and we're going to roll the ball away, reach the left arm up and over. Reach it up and over. Perfect. One more, reach it up and over. You can rotate the chest, take the ball, roll it away just a little bit deeper if you need to, and then come back to center. We're going to open out to T and then reach this ball up and over. Let's take it over to the other side before we come up to kneeling. So your left leg's going to cross in front. You're going to place that ball now to your left, and then we're just going to reach it up and over. Roll it away and reach it up and over. Perfect. One more. Reach up and over. You can rotate the chest. Roll that ball away. Come back into center. We're going to open it out to a T and then take that left arm up and over for your counter stretch. Perfect. Place your ball down. And then we're going to come up to our kneeling stance again with your left leg extended, And then from here, you can sit back on that heel, come up to center, push it out to stretch into the hip. Sit back onto your heel, up to center, push it out into the hip. Good. We're going to do 3 more. Press it back, up to center, into your hip. 2 more. Last one. And then we'll come back into center. We're going to grab that ball and we'll go into our obliques here. So we're going to roll the ball, reach it up and over. Back out to a T. Roll your ball, reaching up and over. Back out to your T. 3 more. Roll and reach. Last 2. And then last one. Very good. And then from here, we're going to come down onto our lying on our belly. So lying down prone, belly down. And then we're just going to take the ball, make sure the legs can stretch, point the toes, and we're going to take the ball and roll it away. We're going to go into a little bit of a swan. So we'll inhale to lift the head and chest up into your swan. Exhale to lower the head and chest down. Inhale, lift the head and chest. Exhale, lower the head and chest down. We're going to do 2 more like that. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Perfect. All right, and then let's go ahead, place the ball to the side. We're going to come up to our forearm kneeling position, and we're going to do our single leg kicks. So we're going to press into the forearms. You want to have your shoulders back and relaxed, and your spine is in an extension. Right leg is going to stay down. We're going to pull the left leg in for 2 kicks. 1, 2. You'll feel a stretch into your quad, so the top of your thigh. 1, 2. Pull it in. Make sure you're not holding your breath. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And 1, 2. So you're kicking that heel towards your glute. Really drive the heel in. Stretching into your quads and still pressing through your forearms. So you're not relaxing your forearms. You're in that spine extension. We're going to do 1 more on each side. Last one. Perfect. And then let's take our right forearm, press it into the mat. You're going to reach back if you can grab onto your left ankle or left tops of your foot. And then you'll just press into the foot. You can lift it off of the floor and lift your chest. A little bit more stretch and extension into your right quad. We're going to do 2 more. And you can feel a little bit of squeeze in your glute as you lift and press. And then we're going to switch. We're going to take our left forearm down, reach back for your right, and then press and lift and stretch all the way up through the low back, into the quad, maybe a little bit in the glute. Also feel it in that hip flexor as you press and lift. We're going to do 1 more on this side. Perfect. Take the legs down. Press your palms into the mat. You can tuck your toes under. We're just going to press back into our child's pose once again here. Anything you need in your child's pose, if you need to take both hands over to one side and then the other, you can do that there. And then we'll come up to seated, where we're going to take the legs in front of us. Heels will press down into the floor. Take your palms, press them down into your mat with your fingertips pointing away. And we're going to take a breath in. We're going to exhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling, and then lower the hips down. And we're just going to do 4 like that. Exhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling. Lower down. 2 more. Exhale, lift. Perfect. Last one. Exhale, lift. And then come all the way down. You can keep your left leg long, bend your right knee, and we're just going to reach the left arm up and back. And then we'll come back up to center. We're going to switch. Bend your left knee, reach your right arm up and back. And then we'll come back to the center. Last time we're going to go into a roll down. You'll take the arms up overhead. Exhale to fold down to your toes. From here, you can flex the feet, point the toes, whichever feels nice. Restocking the spine up through the center. And then you guys are all done this full body mobility using your Pilates ball today. I hope you guys are feeling loose and relaxed after today's class. And I look forward in seeing you in the next video. Bye.